Hello, hello, my friends. It is the middle of the month, which means it is time for me to share with you my mid-month candle empties. I know a lot of content creators here on YouTube typically do empties videos once a month, and normally I was doing that for a while, but what I discovered is that I sometimes get through a lot of candles every month, and I figured that splitting it up into two videos throughout the month just allowed me to give a little bit more feedback about each candle. It didn't make me feel as rushed. And it also helped me clear out the very limited space that I have to store these vessels once I am done using them. So if you like Empties videos, please make sure you hit the old thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new and you like candle content. I do videos like this. I do hauls. I do a lot of dedicated reviews. Those I primarily upload during the week, and just a lot of fun fragrance content here and there. So again, if you want to stick around, make sure you hit that subscribe button. As always, all of the candles that I talk about today, I will list in the description box down below with timestamps, and any affiliate discount codes that I have will be listed there as well. So let's go ahead and get into the empties because I have, let's see here, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like I have about 14 here right now. So yeah, I don't want this video to be super, super long. So let's go ahead and start out with a fragrance that you guys know I love. It will be a definite repurchase for me. This is the fragrance Fresh Lilac from Kringle Candle. Now this is in their 3-wick format. I have here lilac, floral, musk, freesia, jasmine, magnolia, sweet pea, tuberose. I feel like I was going to use a phrase there, but I think it offends people sometimes. I have talked about this candle a lot. This is my favorite springtime floral. Smells like freshly cut lilacs. You get a little bit of that woody element in there. Will I repurchase this fragrance? Of course. In fact, I am highly, highly trying to resist the urge to purchase the 4-wick in this fragrance because it is currently available as of the day that I am filming this video. 30% off in the big 4-wick over on the Kringle website. But there's part of me that's like, I know that I'm not going to burn that fragrance again until next spring. And I don't think I want to store it all year until then because I am a very seasonal burner. So I'm hoping that there will be another good sale on the 4-wicks before next spring. But this fragrance, highly recommend. This one was a great strength and throw for me. I don't know if Fresh Lilac is still available in the 3-wick, but this is a very, very potent candle. If you are somebody who would get a headache from heady florals, I would probably tell you to steer clear of this one because it was pretty strong for me. Again, in the 3-wick, it was almost a 9 in terms of strength and throw out here in the open concept. Another fragrance that I will repurchase with this Fresh Lilac is also from Kringle Candle. This they sent to me in PR. This is Lilac and Lily. This was from a Spring Reserve launch. We have fragrance notes of lilac, lily, green, floral, musk, and moss. And I found this to be a great complementary scent to the Fresh Lilac because this has lily in it. So this is more of like the floral petals in here. Still definitely lilac, but it's more balanced out between lilac and lily. And I really, really like this fragrance. Again, a little bit different take. But if you're somebody who likes lilac fragrances, particularly, some of you guys might burn lilac through the summertime. I personally have moved on to all of the beachy, fruity coconut scents. But yes, my number one pairing probably for a good spring floral would be Fresh Lilac with lilac and lily. And these will definitely both be repurchases. Let's talk about Caramel Sundays here for a minute. Next week, I will be uploading my May Caramel Sundays restock because that restock is happening next weekend, May 25th. But today, I wanted to share with you guys a couple of empties that I got through. So they're household cleaners. I finished 2 of them. I finished using Sunshine and Citrus. This one smells quite a bit like the what's it called? Capri Blue Volcano to me. I know that they have a candle called Capri, but this one smelled very similar. Great fragrance to be cleaning with right now. And then I have already finished using Sea Salt, which is also a fragrance that they have in their in their laundry detergent. And then they've also had a candle in this format. This one actually grew on me. The more that I used it, I really liked it. I don't particularly love it like just on cold sniff, but I do like it a lot when for like cleaning the kitchen. It's great here in the summertime. This fragrance reminds me an awful lot of the new Kringle candle, sea salt and bergamot. I believe that's what it's called. Nice fragrance for cleaning. And I have mentioned this before, the cleaners for me, I am somebody who, I'm a pretty tidy person. I keep my house pretty clean. So I can't speak to like this being, those being like effective on really like tough degreasing jobs, because I don't really let my house get to that point or my kitchen get to that point. But for the cleaning that I needed it to do, it did a great job. While we are talking about caramel sundaes, let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance ice cream sandwiches. Now, I don't know if this one, is this one coming back this launch? Is it showing up again in the May restock? I don't think so. Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe in the 4-wick? I can't remember. I know that this is a very, very popular scent with caramel sundaes. Now, I will tell you, this fragrance is very different from the Kringle candle ice cream sandwiches. So the caramel sundaes ice cream sandwiches, I do have the fragrance notes here. They are top notes of coconut, whipped cream, strawberry ice cream, mid notes of chocolate chip cookie dough, base note of sugar cookie, berries, and vanilla. So I'm going to tell you guys, this to me smells very much like those Neapolitan ice cream sandwiches, like they have like the chocolate wafer lining on the outside of them that you pick up at the grocery store. We've all had them as kids and then sometimes give them to our kids. And let's be honest, sometimes as an adult, buy them and still enjoy them. Me. But that's what this smells like to me. I get very authentic strawberry ice cream in this candle. I also get, like I said, that hint of chocolate wafer. But it's a very creamy, it's very much, I feel like this is a very authentic scent to, like I said, those store-bought ice cream sandwiches. Strength and throw on this one was around like a 6 for me. It performed quite well in the closed concept bedrooms, but out here in the open concept, I did notice that I had to place it in a hurricane to get it to kind of bump up to like a 7 out here. It was very light out in the open concept, but again, performed quite well in the bedrooms. Is this going to be a repurchase fragrance for me? No, I'm glad that I tried it, and I can see why a lot of people like it. For me personally, a lot of strawberry fragrances are very hit or miss for me. I don't want to even say hit or miss. That's not the right word. Strawberry fragrances for me are not a must have. I guess that's the better term that I want to use. I can enjoy strawberry fragrances, but I don't, it's not a fragrance note that I'm like automatically drawn to. Like say if you put coconut in something, my eye's going to go to it. Pistachio, my eye's going to go to it. But strawberry, I just kind of feel like, I could take it or leave it. And so I'm glad that I tried this fragrance, but I don't see myself repurchasing it and needing backups of it. Let's talk about a Yankee candle that I finished burning up. This is one of my favorite fragrances from Yankee Candle. It is the fragrance Pink Sands. Now, I do know that they just had a flanker candle released. I think it's called Pink Sands Glow. My friend Connor actually just did a video about it earlier this week because he does work for Yankee Candle. And he was saying that the Pink Sands Glow smells like kind of like the older sister to this fragrance, more like the nighttime version of it. I am curious to go smell that. Now, unless they carry it in, I don't know, like if the Pink Sands Glow is going to be exclusive to Yankee Candle stores or like if they're going to put it in with some of their distributors, say like Kohl's or Target or whatnot. But I would like to get my nose on that one because I do love this fragrance. It's a staple for me. You've got like melon, but it's also kind of beachy, but not coconutty beachy. I really, really like this fragrance. Now, I will tell you, the 3-wick format here started out very strong for me. Good strength and throw. I will say that a little bit beyond the halfway point of this candle, it did to me what a lot of Bath and Body Works candles do, which the wicks started to dead out. They started to get sooty. They were burning too slow. Then there was like very little fragrance output. Even I honestly like this fragrance, you might be able to see there that there's actually still a decent amount of wax in here. I could honestly probably crock this and get just like a little bit more. I might be tempted to do that just to get that final little bit of fragrance out of that because this fragrance is a repurchase for me usually every year. The only way that I would probably stop repurchasing it from Yankee Candle would be if I was if one of my other brands that I prefer in soy wax happens to come out with a dupe of it. I thought I saw somebody at my door. Oh, it looks like Amazon. Amazon has arrived. Back to Kringle Candle. let's talk about one of these 3 wicks. This is the fragrance Melon Medley. So we have fragrance notes of watermelon, citrus, and vanilla sugar. Now this is part of those 3 for 33 3 wicks. I think that they're like limited edition. When they're gone, they're gone. These were released back in early April. And I did a review on this one. I actually have done post-burn reviews on, I think, almost all of these. I don't think I have one on Pink Sands, but that fragrance has been around for a long time. Here's the thing with this Melon Medley. My nose detects more like honeydew and cantaloupe in here. Oh goodness, they're really coming back. Sorry, I was distracted by that. I'm like, who's at my door? The the Melon Medley to me, I get watermelon, but this is not as watermelon heavy as, say, their watermelon pops or their new minty melon candle. Those are both very, very watermelon heavy. Watermelon pops is almost borderline Jolly Rancher watermelon, which is honestly probably my favorite watermelon fragrance that Kringle has offered. The minty melon, there is the green minty note in there. The longer that that candle burns, I talked about it in the review. I don't love it. But this was a fragrance that I burned alongside the minty melon. Now, I will say this fragrance was a little bit lighter than some of the other 3 wicks. If you're looking for good performers from this 3 wick lineup, so far of the 6 that I purchased, the 2 strongest ones have been Grandma's Lemonade and what's the other one? Pistachio Crema. Those 2 have been very, very strong for me. This was more like, I would say about like a 6 in terms of strength and throw. Did okay in the bedrooms. Even then, I found that there were times, that's what I'm going to say, probably between a 5 and a 6. There were times where I would walk in and like it still wasn't a very noticeable fragrance. But then other times I would walk in and I would notice that, which sometimes is a quirk of soy wax. I find that some burns are stronger than others. I don't know why that is. I typically find that when soy wax almost gets to like a third of the way burned down in any vessel, sometimes it's not as strong. It goes through like a burn where it's not very strong and then it comes back to life. I don't know why, but it just is what it is. But yeah, this one is not going to be a repurchase for me. I enjoyed it for what it was, but nothing earth shattering, nothing reinventing the wheel. That's kind of how I feel like, honestly, most of this 3 wick collection is. They're good fragrances, but they're not anything like super conceptual or like anything that we haven't smelled before. So for that reason, it's not going to be a repurchase for me. Let's change gears here, and I wanted to show you guys some HOMEWORX candles because, believe it or not, I finished up some HOMEWORX candles this month, starting with the fragrance Warm Vanilla Coconut. Now, I did do a post-burn review on this, and I said that this is a fragrance that I feel like is flying under the radar over on the Slatkin & Co. website. We have fragrance notes of vanilla musk, coconut water, neroli blossom, and sun-kissed sandalwood. Now, I have made it no secret at all that I love the way that Harry Slatkin does sandalwood notes. This is very nice. This is kind of in that vein of like, I would call this like sophisticated. You're wearing, let me see, like a sophisticated sunscreen at a very high-end resort on the beach. That's what vibe this gives me. If you happen to have liked the postcards from Harry collection last year, if you liked some of the takes he had on some of those fragrances, I think that you would enjoy this candle. Sorry, my nose is getting a little bit itchy there. So this fragrance, I will tell you, was not, I would give it between like a 6.5 in terms of strength and throw. This was a great fragrance to burn in my bedroom. It did get lost out here in the open concept, but I really love pairing this fragrance with Kringle Candle's Gardenia, and I also like pairing this with Sea Breeze from Kringle Candle. This is just like a nice summer evening type of fragrance. I really enjoy it. A little bit of a spoiler alert for some things coming up here in the future. I did go ahead and request another one of these in gratis. I do get gratis, which is basically like a gift certificate to spend on the Slatkin & Co. website as a thank you for helping moderate their Facebook page. But also, I'm an ambassador with them, and so every once in a while they will offer PR to us. And then, so after I placed the gratis order, they also offered this in PR. So I definitely took them up on it. So now I'm going to have 2 backups of this fragrance. I do like it a lot. I think my plan is that I will probably burn through another one of these this summer and then hold on to another one, let it cure for another year and see if that increases the strength and throw. HOMEWORX, more than any other brand, I do find that sometimes letting their candles sit on the shelf a little bit longer leads to some increased strength and throw. So that one was a great fragrance. Back to Kringle, let's go ahead and talk about another fragrance that I have talked to death. And this one's going to look a little bit interesting to you guys. This is Lemon Sugar Marshmallow from the Easter collection. Now you're going to look at this and say, Katie, what on earth? Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. This is the 2024 pour that had the weird wicks on it. I've talked about it in the candle chat. So I did end up crocking this candle because the wicks on this struggled from the very first burn. A lot of other people said that they had had this experience, and this was from the second pour of the 2024 Easter collection, not the first one. The first pour, my lemon sugar marshmallow burned perfectly fine, but the second pour, there was some wick issues, and I know that other people reported that. So when I experienced those issues on the very first burn of this candle, I was like, I'm not even going to mess with it. I went ahead and put this in the candle crock. Now, what ended up happening was I had the candle crock in my daughter's room, and they went to move the crock, or like the table that it was sitting on, somebody jostled it, and so some of the wax had spilled out. And so I was like, okay, this one is too full of wax. Like, I don't want another waxident. So I went ahead and poured some out so that way we would avoid that happening again. Thankfully, it was pretty easy to clean up because it did just spill right there on the table. But you guys all know I love this fragrance. It is now sold out. I hope you guys were able to get more when they went 50% off in this format. And then at the beginning of the like 75% off Easter clearance, they still had Sweet as Can Be in the 3-wick format. Those were like for $6.50. So I did already purchase another backup of Lemon Sugar Marshmallow when it went 50% off. So I'm pretty happy that I'll still have more in my collection. Another HOMEWORX candle that I finished burning is a fragrance that I've loved for a few years, but I'm on the fence about if I will ever repurchase this one. This is Blueberry Cheesecake. Now, I know I had put this in my top fragrances for spring and summer. The fragrance notes on this are wild Maine blueberry, cheesecake accord, blackberry jam, and brown sugar crust. Now, the reason I'm on the fence as to if I will purchase this again, I feel like they've changed the formula on this. Or maybe my nose has changed. I don't know what it is, but I don't detect as much cheesecake or crust note in this candle as I used to. And I even feel like the blueberry note in here has changed a little bit. I feel like they're using the oil blend that they used for like their triple berry pie, which is a nice fragrance, but for some reason, this one just wasn't hitting the same for me this year. So I'm on the fence as to whether or not I would repurchase it. I think that I've found some other blueberry fragrances that I really love. The blueberry fragrance that I really want HOMEWORX to bring back is their Farm Stand Blueberry. That's an amazing scent. Sorry, I had a coughing fit there. Whew. Okay, but what I was saying was that Farm Stand Blueberry is an amazing scent, and I wish that they would bring that one back. But this one, I'm on the fence if I would repurchase it, just because now I've had 2 of them since like I think I've been through like 5 of those candles total, and I feel like the last 2 I have gotten have just not been the same fragrance. Let's talk about another Caramel Sundays candle that I actually would repurchase this, not in this format. This is the fragrance Golden Hour. Now, Golden Hour, let me move this around here because I do have my fragrance notes listed here. I try to keep my my notes that I have every month when I put my wish list together. Like I write down the fragrance notes, so I hold on to them so that way I can tell you guys, get follow-ups. Okay, so the fragrance notes on Golden Hour are top notes of orange, mid notes of peach and coconut, base note of sandalwood and vanilla. So this fragrance burned really, really nicely with pink sands. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, that was a wonderful combination together. This is like sophisticated. I'm going to go to dinner on the beach, but it's still kind of fruity, slightly perfumey. My friend Connor says that this reminds him a lot of a discontinued Yankee fragrance known as Golden Sands. But I like this. This one really, really grew on me the more that I burned it. Now you can see that there's soot around the rim. I've explained this several times that this is a natural function of the vessel shape for a lot of these candles. And honestly, the last burn on these candles, I usually just let them go longer than I typically do. So that's why you see some soot here. But otherwise, you guys, you can see that the wax is very, very clean. Here's the thing. This was, it was okay in the bedroom, but it was still fairly light. I would give it probably about a 6 in terms of strength and throw. Got a little bit lost out here in the open concept. If I were to repurchase this candle, I would repurchase it in the 4-wick 40 ounce to see maybe if I could get some extra oomph, because I do find that that format performs a little bit better out here in the open concept for me. But this was a really nice bedroom candle. They are also releasing this fragrance in their perfume mists, this restock, which I am a little bit intrigued by that. So Golden Hour would be a repurchase for me, but in the 4-wick. I wanted more. I wanted more from it. Another Easter fragrance that I finished burning is the candle Chocolate Eggs. Now, this was another one that made it to the 75% off table over at Kringle. So for $8.50, my goodness. We have fragrance notes of milk chocolate, sweet, sugar crystals, vanilla, buttercream, and cocoa. And I will tell you guys, this is one of the best milk chocolate fragrances that Kringle has done. Kringle does chocolate very, very well. Now, that being said, you guys, I'm not really a big chocolate lover when it comes to home fragrance. Like, they sent this to me in PR, but I probably would not have gone out of my way. Like, if I didn't have a YouTube channel and I wasn't wanting to review new stuff on my own, I probably would not have purchased this candle. However, this is done very, very well. It smells exactly like these little chocolate eggs, like when you unwrap them from the foil. Just a good, pure milk chocolate fragrance. This one performed pretty well for me. I would give strength and throw about a 7 on this candle. Now, you will see that there's some soot that accrued around there. Again, I let this one burn out on the final burn, but I did notice that this one did burn a little bit dirtier than some of the other Easter candles. Again, sometimes I think that that is a byproduct of this, of maybe some specific oils and the wicks that they have to use with each formulation. I don't know all the science behind candles, but it is kind of interesting how some candles will soot a little bit more, even though they're from brands that typically don't have sooting issues. Another HOMEWORX candle that I finished burning, and oddly enough, this is another one that's actually being sent to me in PR. This is the fragrance Blooming Trellis. Now, my daughter Paisley and I nicknamed this the wedding candle in our HOMEWORX haul last month because the packaging on it is just beautiful. We have fragrance notes here of climbing honeysuckle, soft jasmine, creamy gardenia, and bergamot. Now, this candle, I'm going to tell you guys, this is really nice. It's a nice floral that I feel like translates or is good for the transition from spring to summer. For me personally, my mother loved gardenia. I grew up in Southern California. A lot of my family members had jasmine growing in their yards. And so this is kind of a familiar fragrance, I would say. It's floral, but it's got a little bit of creaminess to it. I get the notes of honeysuckle. I do get gardenia, but it's not a super heady gardenia, and some jasmine in there. Now, I will say the interesting thing, I did already do a post-burn review on this candle. Blooming Trellis, I liked it. I don't see myself wanting to burn through another one. So honestly, the one that they have sent to me that is on their way, I am actually going to gift to, we actually have a wedding to attend at the end of this month. So I thought, you know what, it would be a perfect candle to throw in with the other gifts that we are getting. Strength and throw on that one was also, I would say, fairly decent, about a 7 for me in terms of strength and throw, but I do have a dedicated review on it if you want to go back and check that out. Let's talk about another candle that I have signed up to get a restock notice on. And I want to know the minute that this restocks, I will go on and purchase this as quickly as people, like, remember when Jelly Donut would come back in stock and people were like racing to the Kringle website, like, we have to get more. I feel that way about this fragrance. And funny, I said I'm not big on chocolate fragrances, but this red velvet, holy smokes, I need more of this. Like, honestly, if this restocks, I think I'm going to buy 2 because this is a scent that I do not want out of my collection. This is definitely more of a fragrance that I would burn, I would say, like in the winter, I would say probably after Christmas. So this smells like authentic red velvet cake baking in the oven. It is so good. Now, I don't get really a frosting accord in here, which is fine. They actually don't picture a frosting, there's no frosting on this cake. And I have mentioned before that I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't try to do a frosting accord, because I feel like they did that with the carrot cake this year. I felt like they tried to incorporate a little bit more vanilla frosting in the carrot cake of this year. And something about it, like I enjoyed carrot cake, but I didn't enjoy it as much this year as I did in the 2024 country candle format. And so I don't want them to tweak this. Kringle, don't mess with this. If you bring this candle back, don't mess with it. Leave it as it is. It's perfect. It's perfect as it is. Strength and throw, even on this 2-wick, you guys, was a solid 9 out here in my open concept. So if you are somebody who is looking for an authentic red velvet cake, and if you've missed any of my reviews on this or me talking about this candle, red velvet, while it is based in like a cocoa, like a chocolate type of base, what separates it from like your typical chocolate cake is that there's an addition usually of white vinegar in the batter. And so that just slightly alters the flavor of a red velvet cake from a traditional chocolate cake. Then plus you have the red dye. But like, oh, this is so good. I'm smelling it more and it makes me hungry. I've got to stop. I've got to stop smelling that. I was actually just laughing with a girlfriend over the weekend because she was saying, she's like, I can't burn the candles that smell like cake or anything because it makes me hungry. And I was like, well, fair point. I get that. Okay, we're going to finish out with 2 HOMEWORX candles. So this HOMEWORX candle is the Ginger Mango. Now, this was sent to me in PR from Slatkin & Co. This is in their, again, it's a 3-wick format. I want to say it's 14 ounces of wax. So we've got kind of this commemorative Elton John, the like piano keys going around. Now, here's the thing about this candle. I like this fragrance. I actually really, really like this fragrance. I hope that they bring it back. In fact, if they were to bring this back in a 4-wick, I actually might reconsider purchasing it, just because the scent is very like fresh and vibrant. I was burning this with, what was it? I think I was burning it with fresh bergamot from Country Candle, and I really loved it. It was just like a very bright, zesty feeling going on in my house. But this did not perform well for me in terms of strength and throw. It was very, very weak. First off, I had to put it in a hurricane to get it to pull out completely. Second, even in a hurricane, the first couple of burns, it struggled to even reach like a 3 or a 4 in terms of strength and throw. It was not good for me. And even then at its maximum, I feel like I had to have it in a hurricane for it to be noticeable even in my closed concept bedroom. So that was a little bit unfortunate. I wish that with these collaborations with Elton John, because the truth is the winter collection was a great collab with Elton John, and some of these spring fragrances have been really nice ones as well. But I wish that they would use maybe like their normal, I know that they're trying to use like special packaging, but I wish that they would get away from these 3-wicks, because these 3-wicks do not perform well in my house. And I feel like for the price point, people want candles that are going to perform, especially when you're collaborating with a huge superstar like Elton John. So I think the fragrances are good. I have been burning the Tangerine Palazzo, which was from the winter collection, and I feel like that fragrance definitely needs to come back. The other thing that I have noticed about these is this one, you can see a lot of weird like wick residue in this candle. It didn't alter the fragrance, but it's kind of weird that like there's like these like little flecks of cotton or something in the wax pool here. And I will say, for as much as I love that Tangerine Palazzo fragrance, there's quite a bit of soot that accrues along the edges. So I think it might be a byproduct of this vessel. It's definitely like a thicker glass. I mean, a more like premium glass than what they use, say, in their normal 4-wicks, which I'm reaching for one right here. But yeah, the fragrance itself I do like, but I would want it in a different format than that 3-wick to give it another try. The last fragrance that I wanted to talk about is Strawberry Birthday Cake from HOMEWORX. I know that this is a fragrance that's been around for a long, long time. I just am finally getting around to burning it. Fragrance notes on this one are fresh crushed strawberries, caramel cream, berry buttercream frosting, fresh baked vanilla cake. Now, again, you guys, strawberry is a take it or leave it type of fragrance for me. Did I like this? Yes, I burned it with the ice cream sandwiches fragrance. I also liked pairing this with the chocolate eggs candle. They, you know, it smells good. Do I get a lot of cake in this? maybe a little bit. Now, that being said, you guys, I don't love strawberry cake, so I can't really compare and say like, oh, this is authentic. It's sweet. It's a strawberry gourmand. You get a little bit of strawberry frosting in here. It's not cloyingly sweet. Um, it's good. Not anything that I need to write home about or repurchase, but it served its purpose. Burned pretty well for me. Strength and throw on this one was pretty good as well. I would give this one about an 8 in terms of strength and throw out here in the open concept. It was definitely a noticeable fragrance. Now, if you do like strawberry fragrances from HOMEWORX, I will tell you guys, after I just said strawberry is just kind of for me, they did send me their strawberry shortcake candle from their Party in the USA collection. I talked about that in my candle chat last weekend. I will have a post-burn review coming up for you guys this week. If you caught my cherry pie review for HOMEWORX, that one was a miss for me, but their strawberry shortcake is a win. And I'm actually contemplating, like, I might want one more of those because I'm loving that fragrance way more than I anticipated I would. So if you're wanting a good strawberry scent right now from HOMEWORX, my recommendations would be that strawberry shortcake, or I also love their farm stand strawberry. I don't know if that's back in stock on the website or at QVC, but if you can ever get your hands on farm stand strawberry, that's another great strawberry scent. So those are the empties for this month. Let me know in the comment box down below if you have gone through any of these, if any of these are candles that are currently in your collection. Always curious to hear what your thoughts are. I definitely need way more of that red velvet because that is just an incredible fragrance. And Kringle, please pour more now. We need more. The people need more. I need more of it. So yeah, you guys, this week I will have some more dedicated reviews coming up for you guys. I plan to get dedicated reviews up, like I said, of strawberry shortcake from HOMEWORX. I will also have dedicated reviews for both the Kringle cherry pie and their new bottle rocket fragrances. Don't forget that those are launching this Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will also give you guys my dedicated post-burn review of Sublime Vanilla from Caramel Sundays, and I'll give you guys my May wish list for their restock. What is that? No, May restock wish list. Let's get the words in order there. So lots of fun stuff coming up for you guys this week. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss anything. My words are starting to get jumbled, which means it is time for me to go. If you have more time, YouTube should be suggesting another video at the end of this one. Feel free to spend more time with me. But until my next one, you guys, I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.